Hey everyone, today's word for the day is transmutation. And when I think of transmutation, I can't help but associate it with water. And the reason for that is that I believe that water is in a constant state of awareness, and it is always wanting to observe itself from every perceivable angle. It is completely non-judgmental. It will enter the body of a ladybird or a donkey or you or I, and it will evaporate up into the clouds. Whenever you drink a glass of water, that water has probably been in the body of a cow. It probably has been in a blade of grass. It has traveled across the skies. You know, we never really think about that when we think about water, because water literally is in all life. It is even in the air that we're breathing now, and yet we don't see it. So what does that mean in relation to transmutation? Well, even if you think that once upon a time you were conceived, and within that conception fluids were exchanged, and then the cells started to divide and you became an embryo, and then you were born as a baby, and you went through childhood, adolescence, adulthood, perhaps you're in old age. And this process of transmutation happens in front of us, and yet we're not really aware of it so much in the moment, but it takes time. And it's a gradual transmutation, and yet when we get to the end of our life, we can easily say it went like that. And yet when we're young, we desperately think everything's so boring and everything's taking so long, and when am I going to be older, and I'll be allowed to do this and I'll be allowed to do that. But as you get to a certain age, suddenly time feels like it's speeding up, and everything seems to be going so much faster. And that is our perception. We have all these different perceptions at the different stages of transmutation of our life. And if you think that by molecular count we're 99% water, that means that there are more water molecules in our body than there are stars in the Milky Way. And water is also throughout the universe. And I like to think about that, because if you consider that water came from meteorites, or at least a large part of it that's on Earth, that means that we are literally an alien liquid. And we know very, very little about this water that we drink and that we're made up of and that circulates around the Earth. And if you think about that, then you think that transmutation is so easy for water. When we urinate, that water, that fluid is going on another journey. It has changed from being something that we associate ourselves as us, the fluid that fills this body, and it has gone on another journey. When we bleed, that blood has gone on another journey. When we cry, these tears, they flow and they go on another journey. They are transmuted into something else. This is the wonderful, beautiful sort of message from water that shows me that transmutation essentially is something that we see in nature all the time. Water, it's always in one of its stages. It doesn't die. It can be polluted, but you can't kill it. And if you think about the high percentage of water that we are, and I personally consider myself to be a body of water, then perhaps upon death, also, we then go on another journey. Think about what happens when the body dies. The water evaporates and the salts are left to go back into the earth. When the water evaporates, where does it go? Where do we go? We also are on another journey. We are all connected, and yet somehow we always feel so individual. I really hope this has been inspiring, And I believe that water teaches us so many things that sometimes we've never even thought about. Have a wonderful day. Bye.